Hey everyone, welcome to Custom Made Everything. I'm Tim, and on this episode, we're getting another figure crossed off of my personal to-do list. Yep, that's right, I'm getting another one finished for myself. I've had the idea of this figure in the back of my mind for quite some time, and today's the day we're gonna get started. So I've dug out this Mike Bossy figure and this Daniel Alfredson figure, and we're gonna create St. Louis Blues player Pavel Demitra. Let's get into it. I got the two pieces separated and I've got the top on the bottom and it looks really good. There's some things that I'm gonna have to modify. I want to shave down this waistline a little bit just so that the jersey fits on a little better. So that's our next step. There we go. I've made my reference line. Anything below needs to stay. Anything above I can trim down to make the jersey fit better. I'm gonna also modify the inside of this jersey. I have to be careful though because it's pretty thin material to begin with, but there is one little spot here that I can grind down, gain a few more millimeters of play. So I've got the Dremel tool, I've got the figure, let's go. So we got a little bit trimmed off of here. We got the inside shaved down. Let's see if that does anything. Not too much. Still fits relatively the same. So time to keep shaving. Well, that's a lot of material off. Let's see if that does anything. A little bit. I think it's still too high in the front here. All right, well, I'm gonna keep grinding and sanding and I'll catch up with you when this fits a lot better. All right, well, this figure's coming together super well. The top and the bottom portions have merged quite nicely. And I guess maybe it would help for you guys to know what I'm recreating. So here is the pose that is inspiring this figure. Now he's got straight legs and Mike Bossy has the bent legs. So that's why that wasn't gonna work and that's why we switched out for the Alfredson legs. But a bonus to switching out the Alfredson legs is that Alfredson's wearing the same skates that Demitra has. Another feature that we've swapped out of Alfredson and put onto this figure is the Eagle gloves, the same brand that Demitra is wearing in this picture. One of the problems with these gloves though is that the hand that's supposed to be holding the stick is molded completely shut. So I think I'm gonna have to drill a hole into that so I can get the stick put in. And speaking of the stick's gonna have to be created from scratch. So I've scoured the internet to find good source images so I could recreate a decal and apply that to the stick. So there's only a few more of the rough details to figure out and then we're ready for paint. I'm getting excited.
Perfect.
Well, I'm really happy with how this pose has turned out. Modifying that glove went really well. Now it's time to take it apart and paint it.
Several months later.
Yep, feels like it's been forever since I worked on this Dimitri project. For you guys, it's only been seconds, but for me, it's been at least a month. I've had a couple custom Funkos come up that I've completed, as well as I've revamped my entire workspace. I refinished this desk. I also refinished this chair. I've got videos of that on my channel. I'll link them in the description below. So where we last left off was I was heading into the garage to do the base painting on the figure, and I'm happy to say that that's all finished, so come on over to the desk and let's take the next step. Here's the base painting all finished. Lots of white, lots of blue, lots of coats of paint. The navy didn't take as many as the white, but for the white to really look crispy, I had to put a lot of coats on it. Now part of that is because of how wrinkled this jersey is. And it's so wrinkled, I'm a little concerned about putting the decals on this thing. Also, the socks. These socks are the old style McFarlane socks. So they have a knit pattern in them. There's a bunch of lines and crevices. So it was hard to get the paint into there. It was a combination of brushing and airbrushing. But it's been a success. The white looks great. The navy looks great. We're ready to get into some of the detail work on this. Well, with the masking tape removed, it's time to start working on painting in the details. And as a general rule of thumb, you always start with your light colors and work into your dark colors. So we'll start off with this light beige that's the insulation of the helmet. We'll also use this same beige color on the palm of the gloves. And with the palm of the gloves all finished up, we'll move our attention to the jersey. Now, if you followed along with any of my previous builds, you'll know that I've usually used a decal for the stripes, or at least some sort of a guide for the striping, to make sure that they look proper. Well, this build, I'm going to challenge myself, test my skills, and I'm not using any decals or any guides. I'm going to do this stripe work all freehand. And sticking with the same rule of starting with the light colors and working your way to the dark colors, I'll do my yellow striping first. I'd say we're off to a pretty good start. I've got a nice outline. Now I need to get in there with the navy and clean up that outer edge line. This navy covers up the yellow real well, and it allows me to create a good border of the yellow and create a nice straight line. So I do my cutting in, and then I go to filling in, and I continue that process for all of the navy. Here's the first go of the navy all filled in. Still looking good. Time to add in the royal blue. This blue also covers over top of that yellow quite well, and we continue with our cutting in and filling in until we have all our paint applied. Now after a few more coats of paint, the colors will start to pop. And the final step is to go in with a very small brush and really clean up those lines to make sure everything looks as professional as you can. As you can see, the touch-ups that I'm doing aren't very drastic, but these little cleanups make all the difference. After completing final touch-ups like this on the entire figure, the paintwork is done and it's time to move on to the decals. As you just saw, there's a lot of hard work that goes into creating these figures. And there's stuff I didn't put in this video, like creating the decals, applying the decals, and blending those decals in. Now my next step for this is a whole lot of clear coat because I want to protect all of that hard work. After that, I'll snap the pieces back together, I'll create a custom base plate for it, and all of that's going to be done off camera. So the next step for you guys is to sit back and enjoy this final custom piece. I absolutely love how this figure turned out, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video, give you a little idea of what goes into making one of these custom figures. If you liked the video, give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel to keep up with all the cool stuff that I'm doing here at Custom Made Everything, and as always, thanks for watching.